Danielle's garden, and today I'm going to walk you through the late November garden. I'm in zone 8 and we have not had a freeze yet, but we have one scheduled next weekend, and so I kind of want to document what South Carolina gardens are looking like at Thanksgiving week. Now, my area was impacted by Hurricane Helene, so a lot of my vegetables came out, but I ended up leaving some of them in, and I got actually tomatoes off of my tomato plants, which are still in. I've picked about 6 or 7 tomatoes in November, and I got a huge harvest of peppers as well. So when it freezes, these will officially be done, but there are a few tomatoes on there, and I'll probably pick them just because, and I'll just do like a salsa and use them green. So you can see I've got, and these are small, so these are supposed to be much larger, but considering the cold, I've got lots of small tomatoes on here. Those ones they fell to the ground, so I let the bugs have them. And there's like one up here. Now you can see much of this is crunchy, dead. It's done. But nevertheless, it's Thanksgiving and I still have tomatoes on the vine. These won't ripen, but I'll still use them in a salsa. And I did take out most of my peppers, but I did leave a couple plants here, and then just one there. And I've pulled all the peppers off of them. They were a big gem pepper, jalapeno. I've left this red one because the bugs are nibbling on it, and that's fine. But you can see they still have blooms. I'm not sure what this was. I did not get good peppers from this area this year. This one was a big gem, and I actually harvested some good sized peppers from that this morning. And then this one over here, I just let them stay. If they produced a pepper, great. It didn't, but it's fine. I mean, you can see this thing is loaded with blooms. So in another life, I would have had lots and lots of peppers on this plant, but it is what it is. And I'll just grow it again next year. So the thing about the fall garden is it's a lot of waiting. I really have done nothing. I am putting in a new fence, so a lot of this is going to be moved or taken out. Like these trellises have to be taken out, things like that. So after the hurricane, I kind of just stopped messing with stuff. But I did do a few planters, and there are some things that I've bought that need to go places, but things are still blooming. And actually what I noticed this morning is that my camellia has put on its first bloom. So no surprise, but the hostas under here, these are halcyon hostas. They look great. The ones that were in this strip right here, not sure what happened to those. These got a little bit eaten, which is fine. My dad picked me up some of these on sale, so this is where they're going to go. I just have to put them there. And then the bloom, I think that is gorgeous. I don't know if I just totally forgot. I thought this bloomed much darker, so I'm not sure why it's this bright pink, because usually it's more of a red, but I'm not complaining. I think it's gorgeous. And it bloomed very, very early for me, but I'm going to just be happy about it. And then you can see that these impatiens, double impatiens, are still blooming. The coleus is still fine. The ferns. Now these mums are aged out, but I'm going to plant them so that I can have them next year in the ground. And then these are just violas, and I love violas. They will live through our entire winter here. And I actually did the same planting right here. So these mums will come out, and I have cabbages that I'm going to put in, and I have more violas. And I'm actually also thinking about, though, putting red planters here for Christmas. So we'll see what I end up doing. But then in this planter, you can see the impatiens are done, and is kind of just lagging along. Now, what I really am impressed with is this hydrangea here. I really, before it gets too cold, want to save some of these blooms. And look, there's even a white one, which is crazy to have that this late in the season. Most of them look like this. But this hydrangea is probably the best on the property, and I really love it. Now, on the opposite end of my hydrangeas are my Incredible, which are completely done for the season. They went brown about a month ago. I'm not sure why. Now, the stems are still bendy, so like it's not dead because it still has life in it. So I'm just saying that they packed up for the winter, but they're completely brown. However, my Encore Azalea, I'm not sure which one this is. These are pretty aged blooms. That's going to come right off. But it was blooming and it's pink. There's some that are well attached. Now, this is also an Encore Azalea. It's a different color. And you can see that this is also bloomed a little bit. So again, blooms in November on these azaleas. And I have to say that I'm very impressed with this plant. I'm totally blanking on the name right now, but it blooms pink. I love it. It bloomed a ton. And I planted it here. There's a video of me planting it. So whatever it is, I'll try to find it, put on the screen. I really like this plant, and I'd like a couple more and just fill in here. Now for the front flower bed, it's not dead, but it's definitely not in full bloom, though I did have some salvia come out in bloom, some echinacea come out in bloom. The reason that I absolutely love vinca is because it's looking a little stressed right now, but it has not stopped blooming since the second that I planted it. And I planted these as like little tiny things, and I've had pink blooms all the way the whole season. This one was a volunteer. These were volunteers. And those are volunteers, but they're still blooming. They're still pretty. The cabbages that I got these at Home Depot. These are what I'm planning to put in the other planters. And then my lamb's ear looks great over here. And then these are my peppers. And after the storm, in that video, I said, I'm going to tear them out. Nope. I left them in. And let me tell you, I picked peppers 2 weekends ago. I'll have to put it in a picture. I picked an entire pan of peppers. And so if I lift this up, you can see there's some hanging there. There's some hanging here. They're really tiny. So it's like, well, what do you do when they're like that small? This is a little mini bell pepper. Another mini bell pepper. Another one down here. If I don't pop it off. This is actually the habanada pepper. And look, I actually picked some of them. And there's another habanada. I don't know if this has any peppers on it. But considering that it's November and I picked all these peppers, I'm very impressed. Then I also, at Tractor Supply, purchased this emerald green arborvitae, and I'm going to put it over here on the corner. It gets 8 feet tall, 3 feet wide. Oh gosh, double that. 10 to 15 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide, which is exactly what I want over there on the corner. And I think that will be really pretty. So I just have to get that in the ground. I did buy extra violas, did nothing with them, so they're just kind of languishing, but it's okay. And then you can still see here that my begonias are still in bloom. So in a week, none of this will be pink anymore, but while it is, I'm enjoying it. Now this is a hot mess that I will address next spring. I'm going to pull this out, and I do a major cutback no matter what, because I do like it on the front side, but this back side just looks raggedy, so that will be adjusted next year. The strawberries are doing well. I have no comments. They're doing fine. Now, these are the same violas that are in the other pot. The front pots with the bums that look great. These look terrible. Not sure what happened. This red grass, I really like that. This is my golden arborvitae. And when I bought this, it was like at least half the size. So I'm excited. I think that in like 2 years, it'll probably be as tall as I am, which is awesome. And then we have Fallon sitting at the gate. Now, due to the leaf drop, a lot of this is kind of whatever. But this is red verbena, the proven winners. That will come back for me. These two lamb's ear came back, but there was one on this corner. Not sure what's happening with that. And these are, what's that yellow plant? But these are yellow, and this is a yellow and red version of the version I have. I don't know. But obviously they're not blooming, so it's fine. These pots are alive, but not for much longer. This is the red pot I was thinking about moving to make the front of the house more Christmassy. And then the pots are doing well here. And then my green stalk has a lot of growth on it. Now this is it the Japanese Aurelia? I could be totally wrong on it. But it like doubled in size and bloomed. It's in a container. But this gets about 8 feet tall and wide. So it will need to move eventually. But I like this in the corner of the house. You know, this area just collects leaves right now. So I like having something green there. Like I said, the pot's looking good. This is a lemon tree my neighbor gave me. So it's got a lot more growing left to do. And the green stalk is looking great. So some of these did die off. This was the Napa cabbage. So again, when the violas start to bloom again, they will look great. These top ones are the purple and yellow. Strawberries are looking fantastic still. This is just romaine, or I don't know, basic lettuce. Then I've got broccoli and things down here. And other than this one spot where the strawberry has retired for the season, the green stalk looks pretty good. And these, you know, I have to say that I'm very impressed that the zinnias are still going. Again, you know, I love pink, I love yellow. So the ornamental pepper is also still looking good. But this grass, my dogs love to eat it. So you can see all these broken edges is from my dogs. They just, I don't even know what's going on there. So they love to eat this. And I just have to show that I did get my couch stained. So I know I showed y'all that this was going to be being worked on, and I finished them, which is awesome. Didn't take too long. I just actually had to get it done before rain was coming and while the wood was dry. But I really like how they turned out. And then here's the other barrel planter. I think when the freeze comes, I don't know that I'll put anything else in here until next spring. This one originally was doing better than the other one, but now I think that one looks better than this one, which is interesting. But still, you know, nice to see color while I can get it. And this one is in much better shape than the other one. You can see how it still has its like points and everything. So I'm not sure why the dogs like to eat just that other one on that side. Now, because we are going to get a freeze, there are certain things I need to get in the ground. So I have like a hydrangea that's been sitting in its pot all season. That will go in the ground. I have like hostas in pots that I use. Those will go in the ground. So there's a lot of transplanting that I have to do. And it's all going to go in this section over here. So this is the shade garden that is still incomplete a year later. But this is the hydrangea that I need to get into. Ooh, there's spiders. I was not expecting to see a spider and or roach. That just really surprised me there. But this is actually put on growth since I bought it. It's in actually pretty good shape. I think the tag blew off of it in the storm, but it is a pink hydrangea, and I know I've shown it in another video. Now disregarding the weeds, this is just hostas, elephant ears, you know, all those basic things. And I'll weed it. I'll get like some of these hostas into this area, probably tomorrow or sometime this week, just so that they have time to get into the ground before the freeze comes next weekend. And then when that freeze hits, all of this will be gone. They're very frost tender, and we're going to be getting into the 30s, not 20s, but the like 31 where it is a freeze. So all of this will be probably dead in a couple days. Now there is one last thing to note, and that is that I have ants everywhere. They're in that pot. I have a hill on that tree. I have a hill next to this bush. I have a hill on the road. I have a hill right here. So I have an ant problem. I'm gonna kind of have to think that through. Now, this is not to say that I don't mind ants, but I don't like large piles in walkways in my pots. I don't care about that one near the road, but this one that's up near the house, that's in the areas that I look at every day, I kind of don't love. So I will have to kind of deal with that. And it's been a battle since I bought the house. The ants out here are very vigorous, very vigorous. And then the last thing is this gardenia used to be a huge bush right here, like 5 feet, 6 feet wide. And we cut it way back, and my dad helped me and my brother. And we were like, this thing is going to die. There's no way this thing's going to live. And I said, you know what? Let's just see, because you can't pay for a plant this large. It's just, you can for $100 some. And this gardenia's come back, and I am very, very positive that it will bloom next year. You can just tell how healthy it is, which is just crazy considering what we did to it this year. But I think it's going to be awesome. Now, these bushes that came with the house, we cut them back just to see what would happen, and I kind of hate them. So it would be a lot of work, but part of me wants to just pull this all out and put hydrangeas here, which is terrible because these shrubs are huge and like obviously lived a good life, but like, and it's actually shooting up a new one right here. But see how it's not variegated and it is variegated? And I also, this border with my neighbors is just full of everything that's terrible. So I just don't know what to do with these. So yeah, that'll be like a to be determined. Now, I did transplant these azaleas, this one here and that one over there, and they're doing just fine. So I like these azaleas here because they kind of flank the gate, and that's one of those shrubs too. That one's covered in vines, but like I can't go on my neighbor's property and pull all their vines. I can only control what happens on my end, and like that thing's terrible to deal with. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes, but this edge of the property is a bit hard to work with. But the bright side is that this gardenia is living. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this tour. I am in Zone 8. I'm in South Carolina, and we still have green. I was just watching tours in the snow. We don't get snow here. We did when I was little, but it hasn't snowed in a couple of years. Sometimes we get ice, but now that we've had a hurricane and weather gets crazy, maybe it will snow. We'll see. But yeah, so we'll get into 30s next weekend, and none of this will be here anymore. So I wanted to get it on camera while I could. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.